Oh, hey, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, depending on which part of this beleaguered, beaten down country that you're in. You're watching Rebel Roundup. I'm your host, Sheila Gunn, and I'm joined by my very excited real life best friend from Regina, Saskatchewan, Lise Merle. Lise, I think you're right as rain today.
Am I? It's the sun is shining. I'm
Yep.
in Saskatchewan. I got no complaints in this world, guys. None. It's a great Tuesday to be here on the Rebel Roundup because we got a swinging show today. There is
Yes.
so much to talk about.
Yes. Before we get into the show, I'll tell everybody what we're doing. And then, Olivia, I just added something to the list because somebody sent me an email about it, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'll talk about it. So, we'll get to that right after.
Sure.
Um, if you are watching us on Rumble, that's an excellent free speech platform. If you want to get involved in the work that we do and have your say and possibly stimulate some more thoughts within the brains of Lise and Sheila, you can leave a Rumble rant. That's our paid chat over there. If it's over the $5 US cutoff, we're hereby reading it on air. Olivia, just so you know, I can go a little longer today. If you are watching us on YouTube, same rules apply. Their paid chat is called a super chat. And if you miss a live version of the show, but you are moved by the spirit to make a paid comment, you can do that by way of a super chat, or sorry, super thanks. That's their paid comment over there. And we invite you to do this, of course, because we'll never take a penny from the government to do the work that we do. We pride ourselves on being truly, truly independent, not just in name, but in our ethics and how we conduct ourselves over here. So those are the rules. Let's get into the show. I got an email, actually three separate emails about Nancy Mace. Now, for those of you who don't know, Nancy Mace is a former Republican representative, and she is no longer in politics. And she's very outspoken on the trans issue. And she's gone through a little rough period lately. And she has debuted, much to the internet's horror, I think, some tattoos on her arms.
Babe.
And so people emailed this to me saying, like, hey, what do you think, being like a middle-aged woman, middle-aged conservative woman who has in her own right accumulated plenty of tattoos. And it's funny because I look at her arm and she's got the same thing going on as me. And I'm not gonna frankly,
Do it. Just describe it because Sheila, just do it. Sheila. One side, go ahead.
one side is the fun, colorful side, and
Mhm.
the other side is the serious religious iconography side. I have the exact same thing going
Same,
on. You
same.
guys, I don't show my tattoos by and large on air. Because I understand they're not for everybody. But really, they're not. I get it. Some of you don't like them. Some of you viscerally hate them enough to send me emails all the time. But I do have one very religious sleeve, and the other one is just a fun patchwork quilt of all the stuff that I thought was fun and interesting. On the other arm, she's got the same thing going on. She's got the Virgin Mary on her arm. I've got, the miraculous medallion here. I've got Joan of Arc here. My family crest here. My entire and her fun arm is like mine in that it's all like uh American traditionalist, sort of
Right.
colorful, retro style tattoo. She's got the exact same thing happening. She's got a bird, I got a duck on mine. Like it's just real interesting to me to see this. And um of course, people are going to notice. So settle down, Nancy. Like she seems to be like, oh, goodness me, I can't even believe you guys noticed. Well, there's a reason that you wore a tank top, Nancy. Let's get over ourselves.
And
There's a
dresses
reason. Yeah, there's
and
a reason I'm
dresses
all
that
covered up.
obscured, yeah,
Yeah.
dresses that obscured the tattoos. It's because
Yeah.
we know that we know that it sends a message. And
Sure.
when she was shopping for votes, that wasn't the message she wanted to
Yeah.
send. But
Now,
I love this new Nancy era.
I
Like
don't mind it.
this is anti-Nancy. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is Nancy Mace in her anti-era. I
Yeah.
love it
This
for
is
her.
Nancy Mace meets Marlboro Reds and Bush Tall Boys for sure, which is fine. I mean, you do the smoking, but I'll do the Bush Tall Boys. Um, but yeah, the only comment I have is she said she got them very recently when she was going through something.
Yeah,
My advice is to not get your tattoos when you're going through something.
Right. You
right?
don't get tattoos
No,
when you're
that's all.
mad and petty. Okay.
Yeah.
Only when you're joyous, only after
Yes.
you've survived. Yeah. Because you can often look back on those as as sort of timeline stamps
Hmm.
in a terrible time. And that's the only reason. Like, wait till you get through. Who knows though? Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it reminds her of just what she went through, you
Overcoming or
know?
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
my advice is if you are attempting to make your skin your own, and that's okay,
Yeah.
make sure you're not marking it with memories of things that aren't your own or you shouldn't carry. That's all.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
But yeah, I got 3 emails about Nancy Mace and being a tattooed conservative middle-aged lady. I felt it behooved me to remark. That's all.
Well, thank you. Well, as a middle-aged, as a similarly tattooed, not to
Yeah.
the extent of these guys, okay, not to they did just a couple. I just have a couple like really trashy 90s tattoos. You know the ones, you guys.
I've covered those up.
And I really want to get them removed. Like I feel like an appointment with a laser therapist
Yeah.
is going to be in my future, and that's okay too. I'll never take the one. My favorite tattoo though, Sheila Gunn Reid, my absolute favorite one is our matching knuckle tattoos.
Yep.
You got Alberta, I got Saskatchewan. We put it on our right hand and we're married to this place. So
Yeah.
that's my very favorite tattoo. I'll never get that one.
All right. So
Yeah.
that's out of the way. I just thought I would check that box. And for those of you at home, what's the moral of the story for you in the macro sense? If you email me, I will read it. Now, I don't necessarily have the ability to get back to every email, but I will read it and I do take it to heart.
Mhm.
Okay, let's get into the first story of the day. It's from our friend Jamie Sarkanak over at the National Post. Federal court states the obvious, and I selected this because I knew it would get Lise wound right up. Federal court states the obvious: being trans in the United States doesn't make you a refugee. So in January 2025, a transgender man from Wisconsin applied for asylum in Canada with the hope of attaining permanent refugee status. The person, who is biologically female, that's a twist I wasn't expecting, had visited the country several times prior, doing recon, and had even gotten engaged to a Canadian. But after a year and a half of asylum proceedings, the applicant was met with rejection. Just a couple of weeks ago, the federal court issued a decision greenlighting the individual's deportation. Alexis Aldinger's reasons for wanting to stay in Canada, as quoted in the federal court decision, were as follows. Oh, goodness
My
gracious.
God, just read this sentence. Oh, Lord. Okay.
As a pansexual transgender man, I fear for my safety in my own country.
Oh, is she frozen? Am I
due to
frozen?
the Trump administration's continued attack. No, I'm good. Am I good? I think, I'm frozen?
I might have lagged
No?
for a second.
Yes? No?
I might have lagged for a second. Sorry.
I could be lagging too. I fear for my safety in my own country due to the Trump administration's continued attack on immigrants. This is a new twist on the acronym here. LGBTIQ2+ members, its own citizens, threats of annexing other countries. Okay, but am I frozen again? Oh no. If you're worried about Trump annexing you, oh, stop.
Is it, are we frozen? It was just a little laggy there for a second. So it's on your end? Okay, we're both fine now. Olivia says, yeah, go ahead. Annexing, go ahead.
Yeah, if you're worried about Trump annexing other countries, why would you
come to Canada? Oh, this is, I can't hear your words, Sheila Gunn Reid. Something is happening here. I would just say that the federal government did its very, very best to create a pathway for these refugees from the United States of America. And, called the Rainbow Railway, like they're escaping slavery or something. No, let's go look at the CBC and see the stories they tell about the fat lesbians from Idaho who, visited Canada a couple times and went, that looks like our kind of place. These are not nobody stumbles over the border from the United States of America as a legitimate refugee. Okay, none of them can say, I'm claiming asylum from the big bad Americans. This should be stopped outright.
Yeah.
Right. Because let's not forget, as soon as they come over the border, they're entitled to all sorts of benefits. They get something like 80 grand a year to live on, plus access to all of our services. And of course, like, actually, this gives me hope that there still are good justices in this world that'll look at these bogus things and say, no, no, we're just not playing this game. No, back you go.
I can't believe that this person thought that this would be considered a legitimate refugee claim. We've got Christians in Nigeria being actually genocided. But you know what? This goes to the irrational placating of these people and telling them, like, society tells them writ large, yes, you're being genocided. Yes, if we don't affirm you, we're literally killing you. Because it reads, in addition, I have suffered severe trauma from the emotional and psychological turmoil of growing up in a family home who rejected my identity as a transgender male. I cannot seek state protection from the USA authorities. Why wouldn't you just go to California, by the way? As they are the people who I fear persecution from the most. If I return to the USA, I fear that I will be killed or forced to live as something I am not, causing me further traumatization and emotional and psychological damage. In addition, Aldinger feared the, quote, risk of violence and death and serious discrimination in virtually all aspects of life due to hateful political actions and rhetoric. No, you're fine.
You'll get over it. I promise. Like, just you'll be fine. No, but it also shows how exceptionally weak our borders are, because this guy came in. Like, they're now
Lady.
we have to make, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This woman made it across the border and has been here for quite some time. And it's not, it's not that they are made unsafe in the United States, but it's that there's an elite denial of reality in Canada that makes these claims possible. And that's the real sort of national security threat. We should not be inviting mentally unwell people from the United States to just stream over the border. That's a silly thing to do.
Right. Like, this person's irrational anxiety disorder, which apparently, just reading this, they appear to have.
Rational anxiety disorder. That's a perfect description.
That's not a refugee claim. Like, Jamie Sarkanak notes, even by contemporary understandings, which means the crazy woke understandings of today, Aldinger's claim didn't make any sense. Among the reasons cited was U.S. President Donald Trump's hostility towards immigrants. And if it were the case that merely this could form the basis of an asylum claim, well, Canada would essentially have an open border to any migrant who settled in the U.S., which would render the country unrecognizable within a generation. I think we're there, Jamie. I think we might be there.
That happened the other way, from a different country, or a handful of them, actually. Yeah.
Aldinger also claimed to have personal safety fears in the U.S. due to Trump's threats to annex other countries. This would have seemed more genuine if this person chose to flee somewhere other than Canada. Yes, thank you, Jamie. Which Trump has mused about annexing. If Aldinger actually feared the effects of Trumpian military conquest, Canada would be one of the last places to go. Overall, Aldinger's claims seem to have been based on personal anxiety over politics. Yeah, you have an anxiety disorder. That's not a reason to claim refugee status in Canada. And while I have no doubt that this individual was unhappy at the thought of living in a country governed by Trump, it's clear that this person's minor grievances amounted to what is sometimes called a first world problem. This wasn't a case of running away from starvation, evading flying bullets, escaping camps, or fleeing the prospect of being buried in a mass grave. Yes, you could just quite literally go to California or New York.
Right. Yeah. Or just get over it. Just get over it.
There's
when people properly.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. When people properly gender you, you just say nothing. That's all you have to do. Just return to the truth. Anyway, yes, all of this to say, this is actually a little bit of good news. I'm
happy to hear it. I'm happy to hear it.
Yes.
And with regard to the Rainbow Railroad, I'm not even objecting to some parts of that. For example, if you are gay in Saudi Arabia, you probably do have sincere threats about your personal safety, or death. But being suffering extreme anxiety because somebody called you ma'am instead of sir, again, Jamie's right. First world problem, big time.
Yeah.
In other good news on the sexual diversity uh, whirlwind, Statistics Canada numbers show Canadians becoming less accepting of gender diversity. And I read this earlier. Recent report says Saskatchewan has the lowest acceptance rate in the country. Pat yourself
Gee,
on
I
the back,
wonder.
Lise Merle.
Gee, I wonder why, guys. Gee, I wonder why. No, the public is waking up and nature is healing. Gender, by and large, is a product of COVID, like a terrible leftover product of COVID. And the public is waking up to both what happened during COVID and the way gender also happened during COVID. So this is absolutely predictable, amazing news that the people of Saskatchewan are the smartest in the nation as it comes to this, and that we're becoming more engaged. Declining public support isn't fear, like they're going to want to tell you on the CBC. It's just a rejection of what's been compelled. Listen, it's a rejection of compelled speech. It's a rejection of embracing of a lie, and the public is waking up, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. Truly, I couldn't be more grateful for that.
I do enjoy who they chose to feature in this article, though.
Everybody?
So, this is J. Wallace Skelton. I should point out that the intentional use of lowercase letters is not a spelling mistake. But in 2025, 77% of women and 70% of men surveyed said they agreed or strongly agreed that people should be free to express their gender however they choose. That's a drop from 2018 when 85% of women and 78% of men agreed. In Saskatchewan, 69% of women and 60% of men surveyed last year said they agreed, making the province with the lowest acceptance of gender diversity in the country.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say I bet these numbers are a hell of a lot lower than this. Okay,
for
these are
sure.
Statistics Canada stats. Okay, what do they know? The government, when the government gets involved, like how much do we trust them? Because the public is waking up to how harmful this has been to our society, like to our
and particularly women.
So children.
Women in Saskatchewan specifically were down 14 percentage points from 2018 when 83% agreed they should be free to express their gender however they choose. And I think normally most people would feel that way, except then you throw the bathrooms, the change rooms,
right,
and the compelled speech into the mix. And if you posed it that way, not people should be free to express their gender identity however they choose. Look, I do that to some extent. I spend most of my day walking around dressed like a 12-year-old farmhand boy. Okay. So look, but I'm using the right bathrooms. Just so you know, I just want to make that clear. And when you preface the question with what are the consequences of tolerating people expressing their gender however they choose, what are the tangible results of that outside of dressing or doing your makeup or whatever, and when you put it to them that also includes being in your sex segregated spaces, I think this number would drop, just plummet to the toilet. And we know that because it's an 80-20, 90-10 kind of issue.
That's right. That's exactly right. Because it's rooted in the truth and common sense. You know what I mean? So we can take off 10% of the extreme far left that are going to have a really strong opinion about this. And then there's everybody else who understands that that this has been a net loss for society. And I think there is a real thirst for us to return to something normal and safe for women and children and the people in our society.
Now, I want to point out that CBC chose as one of their experts in their story this J. Wallace Skelton, which is an absolute villainous name, by the way. If you're gonna choose a name for yourself and abandon the name given to you by your parents, why choose one that's very comic book villainy, right? But they did. And this person is a University of Regina professor, associate professor of queer studies in education at the University of Regina. But this person was absolutely roasted online. It went around the world about 6 months ago because they insist on using all lowercase, and part of their job is working with children to create queer and trans-centered spaces.
This person basically admitted the thing that they said nobody was doing by saying that they were transing kids without their parents knowing. And so that's what happened, is this person just verified what everybody's been saying for years. If you're listening to Saskatchewan parents or parents across the nation, they're telling us that their kids have been exposed to a concept that is contrary to the values and the religions of the families. And the left just said, no, this never happens. We would never do that. We don't trans the kids. We don't do that. And then along comes this person and says, well, actually, yeah, we are. Yeah. Actually, yeah, we are. And this is how 5-year-olds and kindergartners were coming home from school saying, well, I think I might be a different gender from the one I actually am. This is how that happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a perfect illustration of the social contagion and how that happens in school outside of the parents looking.
Yeah.
It's reprehensible.
Skelton said, we are seeing a population, I guess that's you and I, that is rejecting that and saying that people's safety is more important, and people being welcomed and included is actually what we want to see happening in schools. Actually, I'm on the side of safety. Thank you. Good, sir.
Yeah. And to be completely honest, I think the mark of a good educational environment is what you exclude, to be completely honest, because when you include everything, you include the crazy, you include the unhinged, you include bad things. Education should be exclusive. Children should receive an exclusive education, not an inclusive one.
Let's talk about the tariffs, then we'll hit our ad break. I think we'll wrap up that topic. So we have about 10, maybe 9 hours left before the Canadian economy is hammered by tariffs. Is that right? I think so. Maybe even a little less. And so Mark Carney finally got on the horn here lately and had a quick but tense talk with the Americans. And I just saw reporting from Fox News right before I came on air that Trump is saying, yeah, Canada, you're still on the list. You're still getting your 50% tariffs. So anyway, that's great for Ontario. Now, it should be noted that I think it's Alberta, Saskatchewan, and I think Newfoundland and Labrador are escaping with about 1% of our economies hit with this. And everybody else is going to be absolutely hammered. We have Carney, a video from Carney. This is before he talked to the White House earlier, saying he expects to speak with President Trump ahead of the sweeping U.S. tariffs coming into effect on Wednesday.
Do you expect to speak with the U.S. president before Wednesday's tariff deadline? And if so, what will your message be for President Trump?
The short answer is yes. Secondly, I'm sure the first thing we'll talk about is this historic investment. And I say that in all seriousness. The scale of what this is, in terms of the 14,000 megawatts of clean power, the 23,000 plus jobs in the construction phase alone of the power, but also in opening up the Fosse de Labrador, the Labrador Trough, the enormous resources in critical minerals, iron ore, the extra 16,000 jobs in the construction phase of that. The way this is being conducted is the type of generational investment that gets everyone's attention, even the President of the United States. Maybe I'll translate "met chez nous" for the president as well, which is a lesson. So, and then we'll have a good discussion about the opportunities together. Thank you.
He's going to call Trump and give him a lesson
in French. French. So he's asked about whether or not you're actually going to talk to the Americans, since tomorrow, like this happened yesterday, since tomorrow is the deadline. And they're at this announcement for this gajillion megawatt power generating station. I guess you can do things and build things out there. That's interesting. But he goes on to like, don't worry about the trade negotiations. Can't you see we have this power project behind us? that's really going to get everybody's attention. Really, no one cares.
Like nobody.
I realize it's important for the people of Newfoundland and Labrador. 100%. I get it totally. Was it Newfoundland and Labrador? Yes, Newfoundland and Labrador.
Yeah.
I get it. It's very important. I love good trades jobs. I get it. But do you think this, like, Trump's going to be like, yeah, we got to roll back these tariffs. They're building something in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Yeah. Yeah. And how much of that project is going to be built with subsidies from the Canadian taxpayer? Like how many? The federal government is involved.
Right here.
Oh, here we go. Sheila
Yeah.
Gunn Reid, I'm not wearing my glasses. I am not wearing my glasses. Does it give us a number? I don't see a number. I don't see a number. Keep going, Olivia.
Going.
Maybe tell us
10
how
billion. 10 billion.
Okay. Ooh, I'm not comfortable with that. You guys, are you excited about your new $10 billion investment in some green scheme in Newfoundland and Labrador? You guys super proud of that? Or no? Unreal. Just unreal. $10 billion. Okay. You know, I bet Mark Carney is going to call Trump and kiss his ass for that. I bet he
did.
Is. Amazing.
He did. Look, this is from Ed Lawrence. I think he's over at Fox News. A White House official confirms to me that Trump, hang on, I'm just waiting for it to come up. A White House official confirms to me that, yeah, he's Fox Business, confirms to me that Trump spoke to Prime Minister Mark Carney last night. Talk about leaving it, like, why are you procrastinating?
After the deadline? Oh, no, the deadline is
today.
Okay. Oh,
the two leaders talked about the retaliation tariffs Trump is planning on adding on Canada. The official tells me there was no resolution that would prompt the president to hold off the retaliation tariffs, which are set for August 19th at 12:01 a.m. Eastern time.
Unreal.
He was unconvinced by the power project. He was not razzled and dazzled.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Trump didn't care about the regional announcement? No. But they had a 3-word slogan on a podium. Didn't he notice? My goodness, this is a humongous announcement. Did you see all the mainstream media there with their microphones? Trump just doesn't know what's good, I guess.
Yep. Jeez. You know, honestly, what a crazy thing for Carney to say. But what can you say when you've literally done nothing and you have no solution to the meteor that is hurtling through space towards the Canadian economy?
Economic meteor. That's a great visual that we're getting. Yeah. Like, isn't it amazing, Canada, how great we're doing after hiring a world-class economist as a prime minister? Isn't it just going swimmingly? My goodness.
So
imagine if we had voted for somebody with less qualifications. Like, it's almost
we did. It was Justin Trudeau. Yeah.
And so now I expect Mark Carney to go on an eye dabbing tour in Europe to lick his wounds because nothing happened.
To visit his friends in the middle powers.
Yes. Yeah, he's going to go strike a deal. You know, for all of the Canadian manufacturers and the Canadian exporters who make goods that are really going to suffer by this. Like, really, this is going to our manufacturing sector. This is going to impact our our egg industry. Like, this is not good. It's just not good.
Yeah. CBC has an article about this. New tariffs could cut sales in half for some Canadian businesses. As long as Brookfield makes it out unscathed, we should be okay.
Well, they did just by the skin of their teeth last year, Sheila, don't you know?
The latest round of U.S. tariffs are set to take effect Wednesday. Unless a last-minute deal is reached, they could layer on top, you guys, of existing U.S. trade sanctions, adding another duty to $28 billion worth of Canadian products, including electronics, dairy, alcohol, wood, and more.
Anyway.
Hard
lessons learned. Thanks, Doug. Thanks again, Doug.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe you should pour out some more booze and invoke the ghost of Ronald Reagan one more time in front of millions of Americans. See how that works.
Time to pull another stunt, Doug.
Yeah.
You show them.
Yeah.
How clever you are.
We're going to be okay here in the West. But that's because of the clever and even-handed approach of our premiers. Perhaps Doug Ford could have unhitched his wagon from the failing Liberal ship. Like, instead, he and Mark Carney are just going off the cliff like Thelma and Louise at the end of the movie. Like, what are you thinking?
What are you thinking? Yeah.
Yes.
Nope.
What is this? I didn't watch this one yet, but it sounds goofy. Oh, that's the clean investment. When we master our energy, we master our people. What kind of fortune cookie nonsense is that?
Could you sound any more communist?
Yeah, when we master our energy, we master our destiny. What?
Okay.
What? Did he just like look into a magic 8-ball and was like, you know what? Type it out, post it on X.
Yeah, dear AI, can you give me a 6-word slogan? Can you give me a 6-word slogan about this and this? That's what came out.
Thanks. I hear he's an economist, so
a really, really decorated one, like a super economist, like the one of the smartest.
Yep.
Ones.
Let's an ad break. Come back on the other side. We've got Helen Gru's stuff to talk about. Tamara Ugolini is covering her sanctions, I guess it is, for like her professional disciplinary hearing today.
Yeah.
It sounds like they just want to completely destroy her career for being right. We're almost like, I feels like we're never going to be away from the COVID nonsense because things are just continuing to trickle out.
This is another leftover case, like something bad that started in COVID that's continued and but good news for Helen Gru, and we'll get to it, but she has a truth on her side, and the truth always comes out in the end. So
that's what, I got Joan of Arc on my arm, a heretic in her time, but ultimately right.
Proved right.
And a lot of people like that during COVID. Okay, let's an ad break. We'll come back on the other side.
For generations, many Canadians have preserved more than just firearms. They've preserved history, tradition, competition, memories. But under Trudeau, and now Carney, heirlooms, estates, collectibles, and competition firearms now have to be surrendered and destroyed. While violent gun criminals get pass after pass, openly ignoring any legislation, lawful gun owners are trapped in an increasingly unfair legal system. But we can help. Canada's National Firearms Association's Save Firearms program offers the legal pathway to preserve what matters, while we work towards a political solution. Don't let yours be next. Save history. Save heritage. Save firearms. Visit nfa.ca today to learn more.
Right now, Byrna is having their biggest sale ever with 25% off everything on the Byrna Canada site, but only from August 17th through August 24th. In Canada, firearms owners like me understand the importance of safe, effective self-defense options. That's why we're proud to have Byrna as a sponsor. Byrna's less lethal launchers are designed to help protect you and your family without taking a life. Byrna offers peace of mind, accessibility, and a practical layer of personal security for Canadians who value safety. Learn more at byrna.ca/rebel. That's byrna.ca/rebel.
Hey folks, do you love a good cup of coffee? Are you, like me, banned for life from visiting Tim Hortons? Well,
no, we're not. No, not everybody is.
Not everybody.
Just with me.
But I am. Folks, I have great news. Check it out. This is Rebel News Special Edition Coffee. Rebel News and Resistance Coffee have partnered to bring you something special to wake up to. Resistance Coffee is a family-run Canadian coffee company, unlike Tim Hortons, by the way. And while the big chains wrap themselves in the flag and turn their backs on Canadian workers, Resistance Coffee has been doing the real thing all along, available only at rebelcoffee.ca. A 5-pound bag and bundles qualify for a $9.99 flat rate shipping nationwide. It is worth every penny. Folks, this is great coffee, and this is the coffee to brew. Rebel News.
All right. A couple of things here. PEI declines Ottawa's offer to let rural employers hire more temporary foreign workers. So apparently, although you wouldn't know it if you looked around or tried to use fast food these days. You shouldn't use fast food anyway, but say you're in a pinch, you got to run into you fill in the blank here, restaurant. You'll notice something about the people serving you, and by and large, they are not locals, let's just say. But Prince Edward Island is the only Atlantic province that has opted out of a federal measure allowing rural employers to hire more low-wage temporary foreign workers. So this is sort of like that agricultural exemption. Apparently, locals can still pick the potatoes out there. In March, Ottawa announced it would temporarily raise the cap on low-wage temporary foreign workers from 10 to 15% of a workplace for rural employers in participating provinces and territories, citing ongoing labor shortages. But in PEI, they said, after considering the available information and the needs of island employers, Prince Edward Island is determined that the participation in the temporary measures was not required at this time.
Okay.
It's great. Every province should do this.
Yes, finally, a province that's just saying no more to this pipeline of foreign, temporary foreign workers who are going to come into our province and put real stressors on our wages and our housing. That doesn't benefit the employer. The employers need Canadians first, not another pipeline of foreign temporary foreign workers.
Right, which depresses the wages.
That's right.
And like these are
and stresses housing,
summer
and stresses
jobs.
Infrastructure, and yes, this
These
is
are
great
kids' summer
for
jobs.
Way to go,
on
PEI.
farms.
Prince Edward Island. Good show, buddies.
Later in the article, the CFIB, so the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses, continues to debase themselves. They lost all credibility during COVID when they didn't do anything to help businesses remain independent of the government by continuing to lobby the government for bailouts and handouts instead of lobbying the government to get the businesses reopened. How are you independent if the government is paying you to stay closed? So anyways, they go on and say temporary foreign workers are necessary to keep businesses running. They say they're hearing from small businesses, especially in restaurants and customer service, that migrant workers are now necessary and a requirement just to maintain normal operating hours. Get lost. Absolutely.
You're telling us that like creating an underclass of labor slaves is a requirement? Let's not, please. Some dignity for these people. Honestly, some dignity for these people.
The youth unemployment rate in Prince Edward Island was 11%. So there's plenty of young people who can do these jobs. CFIB, you continue to just clown yourselves every time you open your mouths. If you're not lobbying for government handouts to independent businesses, you're unemploying young Canadians. Disgusting.
Pick a lane.
Yeah. Change your name. Change your name. Like, for example, the Independent Press Gallery, what's the one thing you need to be? Independent. Independent of what? The government.
Right.
What are you independent of? A franchise, I guess? Right. Are you not just not franchisees? Like, what are you independent of, CFIB?
Right. Yeah.
Explain to me.
Great point.
You're using that word wrong. This story is crazy. This is in the Toronto Sun. Brad Hunter writes, why can't Windsor child sex assault suspect be deported? We're calling him a Windsor man, but he's not a Windsor man. He's a 37-year-old Eritrean refugee with a couple of sexual assault convictions and an endless array of breaching conditions, but none of it seems to matter. His name is Kasim Sabi. He possesses the same secret weapon that has kept convicted sex offender Madahi Johans in this country. Johans, a 37-year-old Eritrean refugee, has a couple of sexual assault convictions and an endless array of breaching conditions under his belt, but yet he's still here. He's considered dangerous. Why is he still in Canada? Call it the old protected persons thing. This guy Now, Sabi is an Iraqi refugee born in 2003. And while in Canada since 2013, he has, oh gosh, I hate even reading these words, an alleged passion for sex with children. Does this concern Canadian bureaucrats? Not in the least. Cops and the wild eyes. Cops say that on August 13th, Windsor police officers responded to a disturbance report on that city's Bloomfield Road. An unknown adult male approached two boys, oh my God, aged 8 and 10, playing in the area. The suspect then allegedly attempted to kiss the 10-year-old, who was able to flee the sickening advances. Was Sabi panicked by the rebuff? Did he flee? No. Then he allegedly kissed the 8-year-old boy on the cheek twice. The kids ran home and told their parents about the creep. He was busted by the parents before he could slip into a residence on the same block. Cops later found him hiding in an alley. He has repeatedly failed to comply, multiple sexual offense charges, convicted of robbery, but still officially no deportation order exists. Yeah. Out you go. Everybody get out.
It almost feels like Canada's deportation system is being broken by design.
Yeah.
Because if we let, we should have some standards. We should have some pride in the type of person that we're inviting to stay into the country forever. And what does it say about us? That this is the type of person that we're inviting into the country forever.
Yeah.
Like public safety requires actual removals of these guys. Like it requires that we actually put them on planes and send them back to where they came from, because the Canadian public should not suffer the consequences of this awful, bureaucratic circle jerk that the immigration system is.
We can't deport foreign high-risk offenders for some reason. And
unreal.
Public Safety Canada seems to be focusing their ire on the law-abiding. Meantime, we have gangsters like these three in, guess which city in Ontario they're from?
Brampton.
Just guess. Brampton. Brampton. Little Mogadishu. And I say that because it's completely lawless. We've got Peel Regional Police have charged 3 adults and 2 youths in connection with a double homicide on the grounds of a Brampton elementary school in April. On April 3rd, at approximately 10:21 p.m., officers responded to a shooting at the St. Joachim Elementary School grounds near Rutherford Road and Weyburn Trail. They found a man in his 20s suffering from multiple gunshot wounds.
Oh, no.
Short ways away, officers located a male youth with a gunshot wound. 2 victims had been shot in the same location. 1 attempted to flee. Both died on the scene. Investigators from the Homicide Bureau arrested 5 people between May and July. Genoy Bell, 21, of Brampton, faces 2 counts of first-degree murder. 2 17-year-old youths from Brampton each face 2 counts of first-degree murder. One of the youths also faces multiple firearms charges, including unauthorized possession of a firearm, possession of a loaded restricted firearm, careless storage of a firearm, possession of a prohibited device. I'm going to imagine that's a taser. Possession of a firearm contrary to a prohibition order, so already prohibited, and then had all of these, and possession of a firearm with an altered serial number. Wow. I wonder where that came from.
Not a legal gun owner then? What? No.
I never. Yeah. Gets better. McCarium Aarons, of 25 of Toronto, who is on probation at the time, is charged with conspiracy to commit murder, an indictable offense, and a breach of probation order. Jaden Christma, 23, of Orangeville, faces a charge of possession of a firearm for the purposes of trafficking. Police recovered 5 firearms during the investigation. 3 were found in the immediate area: a .22 caliber firearm, a 9mm handgun, 5.56 caliber long gun, and a 4th located by a canine unit on an adjacent street, and a 5th recovered after a search warrant in Brampton. But as you know, Gary and Anna Sangri knows who the real bad guys are, and apparently it's me.
Right. Yeah.
It's me.
The trad wives. It's the trad wives, the actual dangerous ones, the trad wives.
Yeah.
What a terrible story. What a terrible story. 2 young people ended up losing their lives. And what it said there at the very, very end was it wasn't considered a gang. Like it wasn't considered
It feels
a gang.
like Like
Wonder- it
it
feels
feels like
like
they're
two-
arrested. When you arrest 5 people, that feels like those people could constitute a gang, right?
Yeah, it said that there was 2 groups of people and 1 person from each group died, but it's not a gang shooting.
It
So
feels like
anyway,
it is a gang shooting.
I feel like it may be, I bet if we talk to the victims' families, they would have some different ideas. And yeah, this is soft on crime policies just enabled this.
Yeah.
And it enables this. These guys should have probably been well in the safety of a jail environment, and yet they were out, and then this happened. It's just terribly sad. Two
Okay.
families would have been harmed forever because of this. So
Right, and this happened at a playground. So it could have been kids, like kids
Should
could have
feel-
been on the playground. It was just a little late for kids.
Once you-
Like if your kids are on the playground at 10:21 at night, they're probably gang members too.
well, but but imagine like trying to send your kid to the school the next day, the next
Oh,
week,
forget it.
whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
forget it. Let's go into illegal dumping, and then we'll do the Russian scare. There used to be an X account called the Russian Scare Bot, and I wonder where it went, because, or maybe it's been rebranded as Chris Alexander, the potential mayoral candidate for Toronto. He was a Harper conservative, but now he's turned himself into the Russian Scare Bot online. Everything is just Russia coming to get us all the time. And, like, I feel like, what, I'll talk about him in a second. Let's talk about illegal dumping and the usual suspects. This is from the Western Standard. Calgary's Saddle Ridge overrun by stinky illegal dumping. City to consider security cameras. The city of Calgary has told the Western Standard they are evaluating the placement of security cameras in identified areas in the northeast community of Saddle Ridge, while also increasing peace officer patrolling in the area, much due to the illegal dumping that's plaguing the area. And this isn't exclusive to Calgary's Saddle Ridge. This is happening in places all over the country.
everywhere,
I saw a
yes.
video of this happening in Chestermere. If you've taken a walk through the newer parts of Mill Woods in Edmonton, I have never been so revolted by a neighborhood in my entire life. And I'm talking about the brand new part of Mill Woods where it is approaching Beaumont. Actually, my first experience with this was when Mark Carney's Liberal candidate was having a campaign rally, and Mark Carney was coming, and I had to park so far away because Carney mania had taken control of Mill Woods. So I had to park really far away, and I had to hoof it down the ditch to get to where I was going. And I thought, I'll take a shortcut behind the building.
Really?
My Lord, the amount of garbage from restaurants, they were just throwing their garbage behind the building. Just garbage everywhere. And I just saw all the people afflicted with Carney mania just walking through the garbage with complete blinders on. And I was like, this is a metaphor for our country, isn't it? That you're just walking through the garbage all around you to gaze upon the glory of Mark Carney, ignoring what's happening all around you.
Yeah.
That's what the whole thing was like. I should take a trip back there because it can't be better. It can't.
An elite denial of reality. Like, it's really something that plagues society right now. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's something these two neighborhoods have in common, Saddle Ridge.
Yeah, and it's really sad that
Millwoods.
law enforcement has to get rerouted
New
to deal
neighborhoods.
with the garbage droppers. Like, you think they don't have other things to do? There's actual bad guys out there, and they're policing the garbage dumpers.
Yeah.
I mean, some would say that this is an obvious disconnect between cultures. This is an obvious disconnect between cultures.
Yeah. And I know some people have actually gone through the garbage that's been dumped on their property.
Just Bins did that.
Yeah. And
Just Bins did
found
that.
the names, and they are of a certain persuasion.
Yeah.
But we've had a little bit of a problem with that here. But fortunately for me, I live pretty far off the highway. So illegal dumpers, as you know, are quite lazy.
Right. They take the first grid road. They take the first grid road, not the 50th one. Yeah.
Yes. So we've been, not as hard hit as other people with this stuff. And, if they also made garbage I'm not sure if this would help, but if they made dealing with municipal garbage a lot easier, You wouldn't have them dumping it in our neighborhoods. But
That's true. That's
you
true.
know,
But as we know,
it's
garbage management is a pressing priority for all municipalities in Canada, all of them.
yeah.
And yet,
They got people picking through the garbage like they actually work for the dump. And no, we don't. Let us just throw out the garbage. As much garbage as we need to throw out, let us throw it out. Because when you put these limits on garbage bags, then all of a sudden they end up in my hayfield. And I don't like it.
no, you know, like, oh, my door just flew open with the wind. Sorry, part of it startled.
It's okay.
me.
I had a
thought
bird in
somebody
the
was
house
coming
yesterday,
in.
so it's okay.
Oh,
Here we go. Vancouver Beach closed to E. coli. Sunset Beach, once again, off limits to swimmers after testing showed E. coli nearly triple the single sample limit, with Trout Lake also under advisory. So this is in Penticton. No. Yeah. Sunset Beach. Is that in Penticton? No, that's Vancouver. They're just writing out of Penticton. Sunset Beach has been closed to swimming after testing recorded 1,112 E. coli per 100 milliliters, nearly 3 times the single sample threshold. It's not suitable for swimming. E. coli, as you know, is found in the feces of humans, birds, and other warm-blooded animals. High counts signal fecal contamination and raise the risk of gastrointestinal illness, as well as ear, eye, nose, throat, and skin infections if the water is swallowed or contacts open areas. The beach sits near False Creek and English Bay, areas that still receive mixed sewage and stormwater when the city's aging combined sewer system overflows. This has been a problem since forever, and this is why I hate it when Vancouver's like, no pipelines, it might hurt the water. And it's like, you guys have turds at the beach.
That's right. This is like enjoy your basic public health failure, Vancouver. Enjoy the products of your infrastructure neglect, Vancouver. You're letting homelessness get out of control, Vancouver, and open borders, of course. Again, this is a cultural issue, Vancouver, and this is what you get. Like these results are ones that people can measure and smell. You know, we can all tell what you've done.
BC has such a problem with this that Mr. Floaty was a thing. Do you remember Mr. Floaty?
No, don't.
Oh God, I'm putting Mr. Floaty in there.
What is this?
Not only that, they have such a problem with untreated sewage ending up on their beaches that people describe tampon applicators, and sorry for being gross here, as beach whistles. I wish I was clever enough to make that up, but it is true. And
oh Lord,
Mr. Floaty,
slide whistle. Oh my God.
Mr. Floaty was a life-size turd, and he would go around and he was trying to shame the city of Victoria about the untreated sewage outflows, because like it contaminates the food supply there. Like the seafood frequently is contaminated with E. coli. Like they have constant E. coli outbreaks in some Indigenous communities, not because of the drinking water there, but because of the fish that they are consuming that are exposed to E. coli. And Mr. Floaty was an effort to shame I think it was Victoria City Council or maybe the provincial government to upgrade the sewage system in Victoria. And he was recently retired, but not in the medieval times when you would think that this quality of sewage system would have been acceptable, but in 2017. Right. Dust off Mr. Floaty, get him on the mainland. They need him in the greater Vancouver area.
Isn't it like he's like a planter's peanut man? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what it reminds.
Happy little turd dancing down the beach.
Oh, you guys, the only thing he's missing is a little monocle. Maybe we just have to give him a pride flag to fit in Vancouver. It's fine. It'll be fine. This is hilarious.
Yeah. What is the strait in between like Greater Vancouver and Vancouver Island? I forget what it's called, but it's basically Juan de Fuca. It's basically a medieval moat, you know, like in the medieval castles where you would just take a dump and it would plop into the moat down this like tunnel. Basically, that's how they run the sewage system in the places that lecture us about pipelines.
The places that say they're the most beautiful on earth.
Yeah.
Oh,
good for
it,
you. You
thank
have you rode your electric bike to work. You didn't get your Birkenstocks stuck in the spokes. Congratulations. You pooped in the ocean. Fed up with these people. All right. Let's talk about the Russian scare bot that is Chris Alexander.
Okay.
All right. He's full-blown McCarthy these days, but
Okay.
at least McCarthy was trying to root out the communists. I don't think Chris Alexander is trying to root out the communists, because there's one in the mayor's office. Her name is Olivia Chow, and you should shut up about the Russians and maybe deal with that commie, because
Right.
she's ruining the place, prancing around with her geriatric groin, wiggling all over the place in a sequin costume, and all you can do is talk about the Russians. I feel like you have other things to talk about in Toronto. The place is burning down.
Yeah.
Shut up about the Russians. If you're running for the mayor, talk about municipal issues. No, the Russians are out. His big issue yesterday was, you stupid country bumpkins in Alberta, don't you know that you're not really mad? The Russians are just getting you mad.
Oh, I'm sorry. Like our 120 years of abuse by the federal government is just a figment of our imaginations. Literally 6 generations of our people have never been out from under the thumb of Ottawa's oppression. And yet, it's just Russia telling us stories, whispering sweet nothings
You
into
dummies.
our ear.
Yeah, he's out there retweeting this Globe and Mail article. Russia, U.S. actors are targeting Albertans with pro-separatist content, research shows. You know what? I am just so darn pleased that we have these Toronto Zoo interpreters out there able to tell the world about the social habits of these Alberta primates. Like, I'm just so sick of these Laurentian elites talking down to us and saying, you guys are not smart enough to be mad on your own. You need the Russians to whip you up about it. I have never spoken to a Russian. I have a third-party advertiser group. Vladimir is not over here whispering in my ear telling me to talk about equalization as if a Russian knows what equalization is. Like, this is nonsensical. If some guy sitting in Estonia creates a Facebook page because he thinks he's going to get clicks talking about Western independence.
They caught one. Yeah, they caught one in Alexander there.
Yeah, like, that's not foreign interference. That's a guy trying to make 50 cents on Facebook. On the ground, in the independence movement, we're mad legitimately, and I am tired of people like Chris Alexander thinking that we're too stupid to completely understand what's going on here.
It like dismissing, like, it is part of what they do, right? Because they're dismissing the legitimate grievances that Albertans do have. And that in itself is a form of propaganda. That in itself is a form of propaganda by seeding the idea that somehow the Russians, the big bad Russians, are behind it. That's its own propaganda. And stay in your lane, bud. Stay in your lane. This doesn't concern you.
You're running for the mayor of Toronto. Look at Toronto. Look, you know why we're Western separatists? Not because Igor's lining my pockets with rubles. It's because I want nothing to do with Toronto.
That's
right. It's a hellscape.
We want to divorce Toronto. That's correct. And we don't need a Russian to tell us that we're in a bad relationship. We don't need that. Like, we know that for ourselves.
Great campaign for the mayor of Toronto, Chris Alexander. You might want to talk about Toronto. I feel like you have a target-rich environment with old lady Chow shaking her groin through the streets every week instead of dealing with, I don't know, drugs, housing, crime, whatever. No, it's me. I'm the problem. I'm taking rubles. You got me.
Chris can't wait to pull on a sparkly leotard and shake it in the streets like Olivia. That's the job he wants. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the kind of dude he is.
Nice.
Good luck, Toronto. Good luck. We'll see you later.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about this labor board ruling. And then we'll talk about Tamara Ugolini's work. Labor board rules. Canada Revenue Agency discriminated against an employee by denying COVID vaccine exemption. So this was a religious Christian. And don't send me letters about, well, my church says this and my church was fine with the vaccine, whatever. There are a gajillion different Christian denominations for a reason. Okay. So choose the one that best suits you. This person chose the one that best suited them. And they took the CRA, which denied their religious exemption, to the labor board and won. And now the CRA has to pay them like back pay. So,
Amazing.
yeah, I think it's great. So, and he was very sincere in his religious objections. In December 2021, the CRA informed Porter, that was the man's name, that his accommodation request was denied. He went on a combination of sick and vacation leave between January 10th and April 8th, 2022, and then went on unpaid sick leave before being approved for long-term disability. Porter grieved the denial and filed the complaint with the Federal Labor Relations and Employment Board. The board's report said Porter is a Christian and has been a member of the Eastern Gate Church since 1999. Eastern Gate Church is a non-denominational, full gospel Christian church, according to the report. He stated that his religious beliefs are that the COVID-19 vaccine was derived from aborted fetal tissue and cells, and that his body is a temple, so he is unable to take any vaccine that will give direction or alter his immune system. And then they go on to like fact check the guy's sincere religious beliefs, but we do know that some of these vaccines were derived from fetal cells. We know that. But according to Immunize Canada, which strives to get everybody immunized, I wonder why they would write this, vaccines do not contain human cells, blood, or tissue. Yeah, but they are derived from fetal cell lines. Some of them. Porter told the Labor Board he has not knowingly accepted a vaccination or any other medications in the past and has avoided the use of products in the past when the information has come to light that it conflicts with his religious beliefs. Okay, this would be like forcing a Seventh-day Adventist to eat meat to stay at work. Right. This is his sincerely held religious belief.
Yep. Yeah, and one that was based in, according to a real moral compass. Like a real moral compass. He had the objections for the right reasons. But institutions that punish this kind of dissent are just now being held to account. Like just now, after all of these years, and coercive, like what would Tamara Ugolini call it? Like coercive vaccine mandates. Yeah. They were immensely harmful to the public, just immensely, just caused so much chaos. And so it's good to see that these things are finally seeing a little bit of truth.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's almost impossible even now to get your hands on records related to certain things from the government related to COVID.
There's a reason for that.
I've got a story coming out on a request that I filed 6 years ago. They gave me a 45-day delay. They just got back to me now after following up several times, and I still don't have the records. And the excuse they gave me is unbelievable but frightening. Anyways, the records were not in their hands. Where are they? What happened to
Where'd
them?
they go?
Exactly. Where they ended up is quite again, chef's kiss liberal. Anyway. We've got Tamara Ugolini at the sentencing for Helen Grews. She was a detective, and when I say sentencing, I don't mean criminal sentencing. These are professional employment sanctions that she is facing for undertaking an investigation into deaths of babies related to COVID vaccinations of their mothers. And she was basically in trouble for conducting an unauthorized investigation.
Unauthorized. What kind of monstrous institution wouldn't authorize an investigation into the deaths of babies? What kind of monstrous institution would do that?
Especially knowing now what we know about the Fauci diaries.
That's right.
And yet they're proceeding with
years of institutional punishment. She's taken years.
Yeah, the process is the punishment, and they're not done yet.
Well, but the truth, again, the truth is catching up, and the public is going to be the arbiter of whether what Helen Grews did was right or wrong. Okay, and we're seeing a turning tide, because these things are coming out, 6 years later. The truth is getting its pants on, and we're all able to look at this objectively and in a different way. And Tamara Ugolini covering it, just awesome.
Yeah, they say hindsight is 2020, but a lot of people still have their blinders on. We've got this video. Large crowd gathers outside of Ottawa Police's Canada Station in support of Detective Helen Gruss, who faces her sentencing hearing after 4 long years of investigation and disciplinary proceedings. 4 years. 4 years. Long enough for actually the truth to come out. Not that it changes anything.
For the Detective Helen Gruss sentencing hearing. It has been 4
this.
long years of investigation and these disciplinary proceedings that Detective Gruss has been subjected to for the crime of looking into, questioning, attempting to probe a 2 to 3-fold increase in sudden infant deaths in the Ottawa region. Coincidentally, as we know, after the rollout of the novel modified RNA COVID-19 injections. There's quite a crowd gathering here already. A lot of police on scene. I see Detective Gruss in the crowd, so maybe I'll go try to catch up with her. But here's what the scene looks like this morning. The sentencing hearing starts at 10 a.m. and is scheduled until 1.
I like how Tamara filmed that, actually, where you can see her talking and
Picture in picture, yeah.
Picture in
Gorgeous.
picture. Well,
Need
that's
to ask her who did that.
well, your phone can do that. We have the same phone. I can help you.
Okay.
I do like that because you don't have saves editing after it, especially if it's just a social media clip. I think that's a great way to do things. Good job, Tamara.
Tell me how. Yeah, beautiful. Thanks for the idea, buddy. And thanks so much for being there, Tamara Ugolini. It's amazing to see all of those supporters outside. Oh, we have another video from
Yeah. That's Helen.
Let's watch her and see what she has to say.
Detective Gruss, it's been 4 years of investigation and hearings and this tribunal ahead of the sentencing and in wake of the Fauci emails and all of the accumulation of the evidence that has come out in the last few years. How are you feeling? Do you have any comments ahead of the sentencing?
Thank you for that. And I feel strong. I feel the people that have reached out with support and prayers, I thank them each and every day. I wake up praying to God, thanking them for all the support that He's given and for the truth that it is coming out. So today is a process that has to happen. I wanted to see this process through properly, through the legal channels. And that's why we are here today, to let this day happen. And the appeal is ready to go.
Thank you so much for your comments and all the best in there.
Thank you.
What a gorgeous representation of everything that's right with law enforcement. Just beautiful.
Yeah. And, it's funny because she saw an increase death in babies. We've heard the term excess deaths constantly over the last 6 years. They claimed it was at least during the pandemic, and then all of a sudden post-pandemic there were all these excess deaths. It's so weird. So she sees something and she thinks, this is odd, wonder what's causing it.
I'm gonna look into it.
And that's sort of intellectual curiosity when you see something wrong has resulted in convictions in other places. For example, nurse Elizabeth Wetlaufer. Do you know this story?
Oh yes.
Yeah, crazy nurse serial killer from Ontario. Somebody noticed an excess number of deaths in the nursing home where she was. And she was giving them insulin.
She was detecting them. Yep.
I guess we don't want intellectually curious cops. Is that it? We just need drones. She was a detective.
Yeah. And really what she did was acknowledge the abject and unending pain and grief of families who had just suffered the most indescribable loss that a family could suffer, and gave them a chance to find the truth of what happened to their babies. And if that's not a noble pursuit, I don't know what is. And then she's held to this punishment for years and years and years and years, and yet remains helpful. I wish that I think that this is going to be a real eye opener for law enforcement in Canada. Just to see, because they're now
I think COVID was for a lot of them. At least in my
Oh,
discussions with cops,
with-
COVID was for a lot of them.
without question. And there are a great many great cops in this country, like a bunch, but their institutions are sorely failing them, and this is just
Yeah.
another example of that.
Yeah. I know at least one that left because of COVID. So, apparently, Helen Grusz has been demoted to a second-class constable for 24 months following a 4-year disciplinary tribunal, which found her guilty of discreditable conduct.
Fire them all.
Mm-hmm.
Give her their jobs.
Yeah.
We want people with integrity, and we want people that are curious, and we want people who seek the truth, and that's what she tried to do. And now she's being punished for it. Like, make it make sense. Fire them all.
Yeah.
Fire them all.
Before we get to the cringe, if you guys have chats, get them in. We showed an early version of the ostrich. Oh. Okay, you guys are gonna have to stick around then. Come back tomorrow. We have the ostrich documentary trailer. Now, yesterday we showed you an early version of it. Now we've got the like cinematic masterpiece. Now that the documentary's done, that's done. But Olivia's having troubles downloading it, so she would invite you, and I would too, for you guys to be on the show tomorrow. Stick around with us tomorrow. We'll show it at the end of the show tomorrow after the Buffalo panel. We've got a cringe. It's the cringe recidivist, not Elizabeth May, but Naheed Nenshi, leader of the NDP here in Alberta, and he's saying it's a great day to be a Canadian. I'm not sure what he's talking about, but let's watch. Oh my Lord!
Good morning.
It's
a great day for a parade. Great
Look
to
at
see
his
you
little
all.
tiny steps.
Great day to be Canadian. Nice to see you. Good morning.
Is this a gay parade? Gay parade, isn't it?
Good morning.
Isn't it? It's like a gay parade
Great
to
day
me.
for a parade.
Empty feel-good
Great to see
messaging.
you all.
Great.
Great day to be Canadian. Nice to see you.
I am so sick of pride parades.
I don't think this is a pride parade, although
Yeah,
it
it
feels
is.
strong
It is.
vibes. I feel like this is
It kind of it is. Yeah.
Well, it is. It feels like this is just, is that Didsbury? I don't know. I just missed it. So this is his cosplaying of being a small town Albertan with his weird gait, like his strange little steps.
It's
like
such he has such a funny walk. Look at it. Look at little clipped still, little heels just sticking. I have
But
thoughts
someone,
about it.
if you are friends with Naheed Nenshi, please take him to Irvine's and get him some proper jeans and proper cowboy boots. If you're going to unleash him on small town Alberta, at least if he's going to cosplay, at least look the part, spend a couple $100 and come back and look the part. But he sounds like a broken record on repeat. And yet somebody put this on his social media. It's a great day to be a Canadian. It's a great day for a parade. It's a great day to be a Canadian. It's a great day for... Okay, very insightful. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of performative politics. And this is just empty sort of feel-good messaging to appeal to his stupid base that thinks that this is cool. You know what I mean? This is like
Was that Didsbury? I wasn't able to see. I think I might have been Didsbury. That message is going to fall flat there. Old Didsbury elected a separatist. That's the only riding that did.
Could we just watch it back one more time, Olivia,
Let's
and look
watch.
at the crowd's response? I want to see what their response is to this guy, this walking flag. At his own little personal pride parade, his Canadian pride parade.
I'm ready. I'm ready to figure out where this was.
Can we just
We're
look at it
doing a
one more
forensic
time?
examination.
Yeah, we're gonna look at the background.
Good morning. It's a great day for a parade. Great to see you all. Great day to be Canadian.
Nobody's waving back. Look.
Nice to see you. Good morning.
Good
morning.
Any little claps are for his buddy there.
Great.
You know what I mean?
Nobody. I thought it was Didsbury, but it's Dulux Paints. This is what I get for making assumptions with my no glasses on. But clearly, small town Alberta, this is going to land like a lead balloon. Nobody's waving back. Where's your candy, jerk? You don't come to a parade without a handful of candy.
You see those kids in the crowd? You know what would make them like you more? Free candy. You know what? Let's not tell Naheed Nenshi to give kids free candy because he would, and it would be weird. Let's not.
Yeah.
We're just not gonna. But you could have had a float, Naheed. Okay, you didn't
Get a pickup truck and sit in the back.
You had to get your little steps in. Had to get your little steps in. Sashaying. Look at Naheed Nenshi sashaying down the parade route. Great day to be Canadian.
Before my time at Rebel News, the local MP, I drove my pickup truck in the parade for the local MP. Just borrow somebody. Are there no NDP supporters around there that can give you a pickup truck to sit in the box of?
Yeah.
Probably not. Small town Alberta, probably not. I answer my own question.
I have a fantasy of riding in a parade in the bucket of like a front end loader filled with a bathtub full of bubbles. That one day. Okay,
We'll see what I can do. We'll see what I can do. I put you in the bucket of the water. Put you in the bucket of a skid steer. If that's okay. All right.
Yeah, I'll throw candy from there, guys.
Yeah. Okay. I don't see any chats. At least Olivia hasn't posted any. If we miss them, we'll read them tomorrow. Lise, thank you so much for joining me on this Tuesday and putting in an extra day yesterday. Thank you.
Oh, honey, you're very welcome. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. And as we frequently say on the show here, if you find us offensive, maybe don't find us at all.
You know, folks, in my many years of reporting for Rebel News, I've covered corrupt politicians, rogue bureaucrats, and even parking enforcement officers who'd rather take a nap than write some tickets. But I have to say, this is a first. Apparently, I'm now available as a gift. Rebel News has launched something we're calling shoutouts. Here's the idea. You pick your favorite Rebel News journalist, maybe that's yours truly, or maybe it's someone else, that's okay. I won't take it personally. You tell us who the message is for, what the occasion is, and any details that'll make it feel personal. A name, an inside joke, a few things we should know about them. The more info you give us, the better the video. We'll record a selfie-style video and deliver it straight to your inbox within 3 business days. Birthdays, graduations, anniversaries, retirements, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, you name it. Messages are available in 30, 60, and 90-second increments, starting at just $100. Need it fast? Add 24-hour rush delivery for an extra $50. And every dollar you spend goes directly toward supporting Rebel News and our independent journalism. No government bailouts here, no corporate strings, just Canadians helping Canadians to keep telling the truth. Give the gift no one saw coming. Visit rebelnews.com/shoutouts. That's rebelnews.com/shoutouts to make your request today. I will be waiting.